Yo, it's your boy Six, and welcome back to a no setup, self-working card trick tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you two versions of the same exact effect. I'm going to show you the original, which is no setup and self-working, as I mentioned before, and then I'm going to show you one little thing that I do to this effect just to make it slightly more amazing or more impactful. And it's a minor change. It's just one little tweak that I made that I think just adds something to it. It does forfeit the no setup requirement. You do have to have a little minor setup beforehand, obviously, but I think it makes it so much more powerful, and I think you're gonna like it. It's gonna be the one I'm gonna perform for you today. So this effect comes from the mind of a magician named Werner, and it was published somewhere between 1999 and the early 2000s. I don't know it from the original source. I actually know it from a PDF that he published in 2012 called Da Capo 5, which I'll link to down below. It's like 10 bucks to purchase it. Bunch of cool effects that you can learn. So if you're interested to pick that up, I'll link that down below. The name of the effect is called Bubble Sort, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the performance right now. All right, let's take a look at the performance of Bubble Sort. I've actually taught a similar effect to this. I'm gonna link at the end of the video. I'm gonna use 3 cards, but that one uses 2 cards. You'll see what I mean. Check that link out at the end of the video after you watch this. And for this one, I'm gonna show you the version that I do, and then we'll cover both versions in the explanation. I'm gonna go through here, and I'm gonna take out a few cards. Let's use the Jack, the Queen, and the King of Diamonds. We're gonna use the Royal cards here, Jack, Queen, and King. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out a couple of cards here, maybe that one. I'll take this one out as well. And I'm gonna place 2 random cards in between the Jack, the Queen, and the King. So they kind of have like a royal sandwich going on here. I'm gonna close this up just like that. And at this point, I need a few extra cards, so I'll take a few extra cards like this. This will do the trick. Place those here. I wanna make sure they're visible. A few cards here, same idea. A few cards here. And then I would hand the pack to the spectator and say, I want you to go ahead, look through the cards and pull out any card that you want. So spectator number 1 is gonna go ahead and pull out any card that they want. Let's just say they choose this one here. I wouldn't see it, so that's the 6 of hearts, it goes face down. Spectator number 2, same idea, they go through, they choose a card. Let's say they get the King of Spades, same idea, face down, I wouldn't see the card. So 2 cards selected. The spectator number 1 gets to place their card back on any pile that they want, let's say here, and then they get to choose which packet covers it up. So let's say they do that. Boom, their card's lost. Now spectator number 2 does the same thing. They have their card and they're gonna place it somewhere, either pile, and then it gets covered up. Doesn't matter which way it goes. It's completely up to them. They place the card wherever they want. So now the cards are lost in the pack, I'm gonna try to see if we can bring the Jack, Queen, and King from the top to the bottom, and during that process, make a little bit of magic happen. Let's start by removing some cards here. I'm gonna place one down on the table, one under, just like this, and you'll see it starts to bring the Jack, the Queen, the King, all the way up to the top. And remember, we placed 2 cards in between it in the beginning, so not only does it have to come to the top, but it actually has to switch out for maybe, hopefully, your cards. Let's see how we did. We got those Jack, Queens, and King to the top. They still have just 2 random cards in the middle. I wonder if we did anything good, because we got spectator 1, 6 of hearts, spectator 2's King of Spades. And I know what you're thinking. What would have happened if maybe one of these other cards would have got stuck inside of there instead? Well, honestly, the joke would have been on me, because these are all jokers. And there you have it, my little version of Bubble Sort. We'll look at the explanation of it right now. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at the method for how this effect works. As I said earlier, I'm gonna use the version that I do with the jokers. Really, the same exact procedure works without the joker, so you can do the same exact thing, you just don't have the joker ending. I will cover it after this portion, just in case you wanna see that version as well, just for clarity's sake. So you start here with the jokers. Now what I did before I started this trick is I went through the cards and I took out any 11 cards. It doesn't matter what 11 cards you take out, just take out any 11 cards and replace it with any card you want. So in my case here, I'm using the jokers. I was looking for blank face cards, couldn't find them. You could have used that. That's what I was gonna plan to use, make them blank instead of jokers. I happened to find a bunch of jokers because I'm a joker, what can I say? So besides the jokers, you can put X's on it, you can make it a duplicate of any card, you can just have it be blank, or you can just do it the original way without any of this extra stuff. I like it. It's not just because it looks cool. The effect itself is very simple and self-working. So the method will actually do the work for you. And the problem with that is that it's easy to backtrack how it works. And I think by adding the joker thing at the end, really makes it seem more impossible than it actually is. That's it. It makes the effect seem more impossible, and on top of that, it makes it seem as if you know, there's an extra layer of deception there. It's not as easy to backtrack. But we're going to begin by taking these 11 jokers and placing those on the top of the pack, just like this. Then I'm going to take the Jack, Queen, and King and place them anywhere in the bottom portion. So doesn't matter, as long as you have any Jack, Queen, and King at the bottom. Ideally same suits. It doesn't have to be same suits. I like it with the same suits, but it doesn't have to be. Any Jack, Queen, King somewhere at the bottom, and you're good to go. What I like about this is that really, if you leave this set up like this from the beginning, you can do any tricks you want with all these cards, just ignoring this Joker pack at the bottom, and just do a bunch of tricks here. Maybe a 4-ace trick that I taught in a previous video. Look at that. Click the link, and you can go learn more wonderful magic. But for this context here, we're just going to use these cards, and this is how it begins. This is just your minor setup. I'm going to start by removing the Jack, Queen, and King of diamonds. And I say this to the spectator. I'm going to remove the Jack, the Queen, and the King of diamonds. And you don't have to use diamonds. Again, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to place these cards on the table just like this. Now I'm going to place a couple of cards here in between. And all you're going to do is pick any of these two jokers and put them inside the middle. So if you just want to say, I'll take one from the top here. I'll take one a little bit further down. I'll take these two cards and place them inside. That's it. You're more than welcome to get two jokers. They go in between. If you want to be a little bit more advanced, you could take one from the top. See, I'll take one from the top, place it here. And if you're proficient at culling cards, you can cull one of these cards underneath the spread and say, I'll go further down and take maybe one of these cards. And what I did there is just a spread cull. So I take that joker, I slide it under the pack, bring it underneath, and just ride it to the middle. Go somewhere in the middle, square the cards up as I peel out the joker. It's a really simple thing. That's only if you're proficient at culling. If it's not something you're comfortable with, don't worry about it. Just take from the top. But if you're a little bit more advanced and you want to add a little extra layer there, you can do this as well. Or you can just mark the jokers, right? They're jokers. You put them there anyway. Put some markings on them and find them from inside the pack. It's your life. Do what you want. All right, so Jack, Queen, and King, the jokers in between, just like this. I don't show them those cards. I just say I'm going to put two random face-down cards in between. I'm going to see if we can make something happen. Now, I need to place 3, 3, and 3 of the jokers. So I'm going to place 3 jokers here, 3 jokers here, and 3 jokers here. Notice 9 plus 2 is 11. All of our jokers are now in play. I do want to point something out that if you watched earlier, I don't bring attention to the 3 cards. You could. Again, if you want to keep the super self working, place 3, 3, and 3, and that's it. The trick will work itself. Really, you can have the spectator do this entire trick. You don't have to do anything. You can literally hand the cards to someone, just tell them what to do, and the trick will work itself. But what I like to do here is just to add that, like I said, extra layers of deception. I'll spread over about 5 cards, say, I need a few cards like this, and now all I'm really going to do is take the top 3 cards, square them up, and place them on the table. I don't say this. I don't say, look, I'm going to take 5 cards. I just spread, say, yeah, I need a few cards. This works. Square them up, take 3, place it on the table. And I just don't want them to know that it's 3, 3, and 3. That's it, because if they can backtrack it because of the simplicity of this effect, I don't want them to be able to figure out the method. Again, spread a few cards over. See, I'll take a few cards like this and place those here. Now I'm going to hand these cards out to the spectators. You can have them shuffle, do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. They're just random cards here. And you're going to tell the first spectator, pull out any card that they want and place it down. Go to the second spectator, same idea. Pull out any card that you want, place it down. The rest of the cards get taken out of the picture. They're irrelevant for now. So spectator 1 looks at their card, and they're gonna, in this case we have 3 diamonds, and they're gonna place it back on any one of these piles. So let's just say they place it here. Now they can choose any of the other 2 piles that they didn't place it onto to cover it up. So you're really just sandwiching that somewhere else. So you place it on top of one of the piles, they pick a pile, and now it's sandwiched in the middle. So that card is really just going in the center of 3 cards on top, 3 cards on the bottom, and their selection. The next spectator, same idea, ace of clubs here, and they're gonna place it either on top or on top. It doesn't matter which way it goes, the effect still works. So they place it here. All you have to do is make sure you cover it with the other packet. That's it. You're covering both the spectator's cards so they're lost somewhere in the middle. And now you're going to tell them, all right, your cards are lost in the middle. I haven't touched the cards. Look, I'm going to place it right on top of the Jack, Queen, and King. And I'm going to try to get the Jack, Queen, and King to rise to the top and find your cards. A little switcheroo. We're going to start by doing the down under deal. If we're going to do a little switcheroo like a kangaroo, let's do the Aussie deal, the Aussie shuffle, the down under deal. So we place 1 onto the table and 1 goes under. Now for this method to work, you just do this over and over again. and all of the effect will happen on its own. Watch, I deal 1 down, under, and you do this all the way through until you're left with 3 cards on top. The three Jack, Queen, and Kings on top. Notice how it just sets itself up perfectly. It's already doing all the work for you. And now you have your 3 cards on top, sandwiching 2 cards. That's going to be the 2 selections. So you can take these 2 cards out, show them, select spectated cards number 1, card number 2, 3 diamonds, ace of clubs, and you place that on the table. And from here, you tell them, well, I know what you're thinking. What happens if one of the other cards would have got switched in? Well, the joke would have been on me. No, seriously, it would have been, because all of these cards are jokers, and you can reveal all these cards to be jokers. Really clever little effect, right? Really fun, self-working. I like this addition of the jokers. But let's say you didn't want to add the jokers in. I'm going to get rid of the jokers. And now I'm using just a regular pack of cards. Same idea, but this is a standard deck of cards. I swap back in my other cards. So all normal. Take out the Jack, Queen, and King. Same idea. Now, instead of pulling out jokers, you just literally pull out any 2 random cards and say I'm going to place these 2 cards in between just like this. So any 2 random cards get placed in between. Same idea. So I'm going to take a few cards like this. What's nice about this is you can hand them out to be shuffled beforehand. But you go ahead, same 3, 3, and 3. 2 cards are selected. I'll just take out 2 random cards. In this case, the 5 of clubs, King of spades. 5 of clubs goes on one of the packets, gets covered up. King of spades goes on one of the other packets, gets covered up. And you do the same exact procedure. Cover these up, and now do the down under deal. 1 to the table, 1 under. Table, under. You do this all the way through, and it's going to sandwich those cards. And the one thing you do lose here is that extra kicker at the end, where you can show the jokers. So now you can say the Jack, Queen, and King made its way to the top, and they switched in any 2 cards for the 2 cards they had originally, and these 2 cards happen to be the 2 selections from the spectator. And that's it. You would stop here. I guess you can see why I like to pour up the jokers, but you know, sometimes you want to do the trick without the jokers, without the extra setup, and this allows you to do that. So there you have it. A wonderful little effect. If you got any questions, drop it down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next episode.